Hey everybody, it's Justin from Bittnerville, and today we are continuing our small shop tour series, although you don't really have a small shop. This is Bob Amaret. He is the president of the New Jersey Woodturners and also Bob's Woodshop here on YouTube, so you can check out his YouTube channel, hit subscribe, I have it linked down below. Bob graciously invited me in to tour his shop today, and we're also going to do some wood turning lessons. Bob, why don't you tell me a little bit about the organization?
Yes, sure. We've been organized since the mid-'70s. We meet at the Essex County Environmental Center in Roseland, New Jersey. We are a charitable and educational organization, so we give a lot of lessons and we get involved with different charities. So Justin and I just met at the woodworking show 3 weeks ago, and that's where we met, and we make these little spinning tops for charity. So we ask for donations and we do real well. Last night we had our event with the hospital. The representative came in and we gave him a check for $6,500. So it was a real big deal. We have about 35 members that participate in that activity out of the 110 or so that we have in the club. So it's a really fun organization. If you're into wood turning, please check us out.
Oh, that is awesome. So let's get into it. Let's take a tour of the shop and get to some wood turning today on Bittnerville. So before we start our tour, I just wanted to take a look at all of these awesome tops. How long do these take to make, Bob?
Well, like I said, we've got a bunch of different members making these, and depending on the member, it takes anywhere from 15 minutes to 45 minutes. Okay. Some are less ornate than others. So this is a relatively simple one that can be done pretty quickly. Then we've even got these hand-painted tops. So these are strawberries. Right. So
very cool. And then at the show, I saw you guys had a lot of lathes set up,
yep.
And you were inviting, complete amateurs, people who've never touched a lathe before, to, make a top for charity, and
right.
That was a really cool hands-on.
Yeah. People really like that, especially the kids now. One of the members just developed this little tiny lathe that we just put a blank top on there, and the kids can color it.
Oh,
right.
Very
so
cool.
They were having a really good time, and we're going to be meeting on April 20th at the Environmental Center for their Earth Day event.
So this is what Bob calls his beginner's turner's corner. So why don't you explain the two lathes that we're seeing here?
Yeah, like I said earlier, we're a charitable and educational organization. So we give a lot of lessons, and we turn a lot of tops here also. So we've got different locations where we turn tops. But this particular lathe is from Penn State Industries, and it's a great starter lathe. I really like this a lot. We have a Nova Comet. When Justin visited us at the woodworking show, his first question was, "Hey, I want to get into lathes. What lathe would you recommend?" And what I've been doing a lot is recommending this one, because the value for money proposition on this is awesome.
And how much does this one typically?
This one's around $460, $470.
Okay.
Right. And this has all the features. Plus, this one has a light of the Nova. So a lot of these MIDI lathes are in the this is a lower cost one. There are lesser expensive ones, but I wouldn't recommend getting them. I would save your money if you're budget constrained and go for this one. So it's close to $500.
Yeah, if you watched my descending workbench table video, I had purchased a cheapo lathe on Amazon. It went back right away because the second I took it out of the box, I could tell that it was junk. Mm-hmm. But just even, checking this out for 1 minute, 1,000,000 times better, and it's about $75 more than the cheapo one that I had spent, so, money well spent. But, we can't look at turning as an investment of only the lathe, though, right?
Oh, no. The lathe is the first part of it, but you also need to get a sharpening system. You have to get the different tools, which we'll talk about, and you have to get a chuck in order to hold the work. So
we just learned about some of the beginner lathes. Why don't you tell me about your sharpening system, which is a huge part of a lathe setup?
Yeah, what happens, most people who want to learn how to turn, they said, "Can you teach me how to turn?" I say, "Yeah, but you have to learn how to sharpen." I'm like, "What? You got to learn to sharpen?" Yeah, hey, sharp tools make safe tools, right? Mm-hmm. So this is a decent size and decent brand. I got this one from Woodcraft, but you need a grinder. You need this setup called a Wolverine system, and a lot of the grinders come with a stone wheel. I prefer these CBN wheels. These are metal wheels. They don't deform. They don't heat up the tools, and it's just a better overall system. Mm-hmm. So A grinder like this is about $180. The Wolverine system's about another $180, and these wheels start at about $120 each.
So how often do you need to sharpen? I mean, is it every time that you're turning something?
Yeah, every time. So I usually, if I'm doing a decent sized bowl that's maybe 10 or 12 inches, I'll sharpen 2 or 3 times as I go through.
Also, 2 or 3 times during the actual turning. Okay, yeah. So you can't skimp on this. It's basically what that means. You have to sharpen quite a bit. That's good information to know. Right. So, if you're looking at, since we're trying to focus, I mean, hey, I'm a beginner, so I'm asking for me, but if we're focusing on some good, affordable beginner tools that are quality, what type of tools would you recommend looking at?
Yeah, a lot of times what I'll recommend, and there's certainly a wide variety. You can go from the Harbor Freight up to like the high-end English and American brands, right? What I think is a really good middle of the road, kind of towards the top, is a company named Hurricane Tools, right? So I really like these a lot. The owners up in Long Island, they're available on eBay. When you're sharpening, it's all about repeatability. So you want to have the same distance that's coming out of this tool fixture. This is again, this is part of the one-way system. And I use this little hole here so that I always have the same distance here. And then all I got to do is match the bevel onto the wheel. And then I would go back and forth like this. And I can really sharpen this with like 1, 2, 3, 4 quick passes, and I'm back turning again. That's after the nose is already formed.
So, once you've done that initial formation, it's really just a 10-second process.
Right.
So it's nothing.
That's real quick.
Nothing that you have to feel like, oh man, this is going to be more hassle than it's worth.
No,
so pretty quick and easy.
It's intimidating to new turners because they just don't know how to do it. But like I said, you got to learn how to turn and how to sharpen. I just got these. These are really nice chucks, and you need these chucks in order to hold both spindle projects and for your bowl projects. So again, this is a real good value for money proposition, and I recommend these a lot. All right, so I've got a jet combination belt disc sander. I've got a Grizzly planer 15-inch. I love this machine. Actually, I love all these machines. They work good. Over the years, I've been upgrading. When I got out of college, I started with Craftsman stuff, and I steadily went up as I got older and I made a little bit more money. I just recently purchased this Nova Viking drill press. It's a great drill press, and I just recently did a video on moving this up and down. This is my Grizzly bandsaw. It's the Geo 555X with the riser blocks as a wood turner. You have to have that extra height so you can put nice big blocks of wood in there in order to turn them into bowl blanks. All right, there's my shop sign. As I need room, I'll just move these things out and move around them, and then if we need be, I can still get our cars, one of our cars, in this part of the garage. I've got this 2 horsepower Grizzly dust collector, and it's coupled with a cyclone, and this has been really good. And this this sucks up the dust from the bandsaw, the lathe, and the planer. Right, so I just reposition things in order to suck up all that dust. This is a really nice feature. So the way I set this up is I've got the cyclone, and this is kind of heavy and bulky. So what I can do is just pull on this. I've got a little block and tackle set up, so I can lift that and just pull that trash can out. So it makes it real easy to empty this. So I did a lot of research on the different lathes. And I really like the Nova Galaxy for several different reasons. The first one is changing the speed. This is a variable speed motor. This will go anywhere from 100 to 5,000. I usually never turn any faster than 3,000, but it's really nice having this because this does not have belts and pulleys. Every square inch in a wood shop is very important. I did not want to be dealing with belts and a pulley over here. This has radio buttons, so it has a bunch of presets. So this will go from like 500 to 1,000, 1,000 up to 1,500, and you can set these to whatever speed you want. Another really cool feature about this lathe is it has a rotating headstock, right? So,
and that's awesome for if you're using something like turning a bowl or something, you can get a much better angle.
Right. Well, the great thing about this, first of all, now you can do a much bigger bowl over here, and you can also do it with the outrigger feature here. So I can actually turn something about 32 inches wide.
Oh, wow,
that's
amazing. If I've got a piece
of wood that big.
Yeah.
But if I'm turning a bowl that's maybe up to 16 inches, I can just reposition this like this, and I could be turning out here versus leaning over and hurting my back by turning the ball here. So now I get to stand in the normal pattern. And what I like to do when I'm turning, I like shifting my weight a lot. So it's much easier to shift my weight when I'm coming this way again versus bending over this way. So it's a good stout lathe. I can turn a big hunk of log on here up to about 350, 400 RPM without this lathe shaking. So the cast iron legs are really good.
So why don't you tell us about this amazing corner over here with all of the turning tools?
Yeah, so I've been doing this for about 15 years now. So over time, you keep collecting and get a wide variety of things. So there's a lot of specialty tools that you could buy. So for instance, this is a beading tool. And these come from Penn State Industries. They come in a set of 4, and they're for making small beads. Let's see.
And you've made some of your own tools, right?
Yeah. I mean, if you're a wood turner, you might as well make your own handles, right? So this is I'm kind of copying the Easy Wood Tools handles. I just like the design. So that's one of them. Here's another one, and I actually put a couple Celtic knots.
Oh, cool. Now, if you're making your own handles, obviously that's just fun and great with that. Does that save you any money as far as purchasing just the head of it?
Sure, because typically if you're buying a tool, a lot of times you'll buy the tool itself and the handle. This is from Doug Thompson out in Ohio. Doug makes fantastic tools. There's a bunch of different handle designs and manufacturers. So this is from Carter Tools. This is from Honest Tools. But these handles can cost anywhere from $50 to $80. So if you got a chunk of wood in the lathe, you might as well make your own handle, which I've obviously done a bunch of them. And I like encouraging new turners. As long as you're getting into turning, that's a great way to practice and save money.
So Bob and I were just talking about carbide tools. So Bob, why don't you tell me a little bit about the difference between these tools and your standard wood turning tools?
Yeah, so carbide tools have been around for a while. I'm not really sure how long, maybe like 30 years or so. And you can buy these from different manufacturers. This is like the main brand name, Easy Wood Tools. And these come in different shapes. So you've got round cutters, square cutters, and you got point tools. And obviously they come in different lengths also, right? But these can be kind of pricey. So a tool like this is roughly about $125 right now. Something like this is probably around $60 or $70 each. And they're great tools. The nice thing about these is you don't have to sharpen them. So you don't have to invest in the sharpening system if you're getting these.
So would you say that for a beginner, one option, particularly if they're budget constrained, although these tools might be more expensive, the fact that they wouldn't have to invest in a sharpening system might save them some money as well?
Absolutely, and there's lower cost options on this also. So you can buy tools that are similar to this without these handles, and you can buy on Amazon like a set of 4 for like $70 or $80.
Oh wow!
Which is it's a really good option for beginners, and these are great for certainly beginners because you don't have to learn how to sharpen, and there's not as much technique in using these tools. But quite honestly, I use them on a regular basis also, especially the round one when I'm doing the inside of a bowl.
So Bob, as you start to get a little bit more advanced and you're getting into specialty tools, what are you looking for?
Right. So in order to decorate and embellish the tops, we use a variety of these different tools to come up with these different types of designs here, which just adds a little bit more value to it, a lot more visual interest, right? So in order to do that, you use tools like this. So this is a commercial chattering tool, and when you approach the tool to the wood like this when it's spinning, this works really good on end grain, and you'll come up with these different patterns like this. This could be kind of expensive, so I've made several of my own chatter tools. This is one that I made about a month ago.
Did you grind a jigsaw blade?
It's just a jigsaw blade.
Nice.
I was trying to do this as inexpensively as possible, just to show that it could be done. So I actually got a half-inch bolt that's 3 inches long. I drilled a hole in it, and another here. I drilled and tapped a couple holes. Actually, I did a video on this recently. I got a regular jigsaw blade. I turned the handle, and I used a copper fitting and made my own. So I saved myself $70 by doing that.
Awesome.
Right. This is another type of tool called a knurling tool, and that comes up with a different pattern. And this is called a spiraling tool, and this comes up with an even different pattern. So again, we like putting these designs on the tops in order to create that visual interest.
So Bob, this is the prettiest sled in all of woodworking, I think. So
Yeah.
this must have been a fun project here. Tell me about this station in the middle of the shop.
Sure. The crosscut sled I did a couple years ago. One of my friends got me into veneering, so I was veneering all types of different things, and I was doing some experimentation by making these frames. So I figured I'd make the prettiest crosscut sled on YouTube. So I've been real proud of this, and it usually gets a lot of that ooh-ah reaction.
Yeah, it's very ooh-ah.
It's very, very different.
So you have a saw stop here.
Yep.
What's your feelings on this guy?
Yeah, you know, it is a big expense, but if you look at it from the standpoint, it's the safety feature. I think it was well worth it. It's an awesome saw. When I get the maple for the tops, I fill up the back of my truck with 2-inch thick maple, and I can run.
Lucky guy, right?
Yeah, I get 6-foot lengths to fill the back of my truck, and I can put that through here like it's nothing. It just goes through. It's like butter. So it's a very powerful saw, and it's rock hard maple.
And then I see you added in a custom
Oh yeah,
router station there too.
yeah. You know, I've made tons of different cutting boards, and I figured, hey, what the heck? I can make the outfeed table for this, and that was another video I had done.
Oh, very cool.
So-
And then this obviously is a work in progress, but a very cool project.
Yeah, what I wanted to do here, I wanted to, you know, I go to different woodworking shows. So I thought this would be kind of like just an item of interest that wood turners and woodworkers would like. So basically what I did, I wanted to make a functional wood lathe. All right. So what I did, I stripped an older model like that in order to get all the metal parts, and I'm in process of making this wood lathe, right? So
That's very cool.
It's very fun. I basically took the dimensions off the old lathe, and it was a little bit of a challenge to do some of these things, but I think it's going to come out real good. I'm almost done. I'm 90% done with the build. I got to put these legs on, mount the motor, sand it, and put a finish on it.
This is definitely going to be an attention grabber out of shows when you take it.
I thought that'd be fun to do.
So I have seen this before. Why don't you tell me about this giant vise?
Yeah. Again, this is a showpiece, and I got this idea from James King, Fine Woodworking, big YouTuber out in, I believe he's out in Denver, and I just thought it was really nice, and I was so excited. This was just such a unique piece, right? So it's made out of all kind of exotic woods. I've got purple heart, padauk, spalted maple, tiger maple. I've got some mulberry, some babinga, and some zebra wood. It's fully functional lathe. Again, I like bringing these to the shows, especially when we're doing the tops. Right, because if you can grab someone's attention as they're walking by, you know, what the heck do you have there? So this was just a fun build. It took me 40 hours to build it, and it's just fun to. It was fun to make.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of King's Fine Woodworking. My assembly table is of his design, so shout out to him. I'm going to give him a mention in this video as well.
Yeah. James is a good guy. So these are my most often used tools. So I've got hammers here. I don't really mind stacking things like this. I stack my wrenches, so I can fit a lot of wrenches in here. I see a lot of guys, they'll spread out their wrenches that's this big, but I'm not using these that often. If I got to get somebody back here, I'll just pull it out and get it in there, but at least it's readily available. I don't have to have this much space for my main screwdrivers. These little pegboard holders work really good. So these are my most often used tools.
How about our display wall right here? This is super eye-catching.
This one up here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. So these are just some of the different projects. This is my Mandalorian rifle. I did a video on that. I've got my Predator knife and my Rocky knife, or my Rambo knife there. There's another James King project, the big sword. So again, I'm a big fan of him. I was watching him for several years. And then I got this is another James King project, his Thor's hammer.
All right, so we just finished up with the shop tour, Bob. We came here to learn how to turn a bowl. So show me your ways.
Sure, let's get over to the lathe. These are at about a 45-degree angle to the lathe, right? So I'm going to start it up. Again, I have tailstock support. I'm going to put my hand over here. I'm going to put my face shield down. I'm going to start moving. I can actually crank the speed up some more. And a rule of thumb is turn as fast as you can until you either, one of two things happen. Either you get scared because it's going too fast, or if it's a very uneven bowl, if the lathe starts shaking a whole lot. We're going to have to turn the platter around, and in order to do that we have to hold it on with something, and we're going to do that with a scroll chuck. So we have to create a mortise in there, a round mortise. So we're going to measure for that with a compass. And, oh, I hit it just right. All right, so I can draw a line on here, and we're going to, with a parting tool, we're going to create a mortise in here so that once we are finished with the bottom of the bowl, we're going to turn it around and use this. And I'm going to make a spiral pattern here. And then once we have that spiral pattern, we're going to outline it with a straight cut. So a lathe gouge has several parts to it. You obviously have the handle, you've got the shaft of it, you've got the flute, this cavity here, you've got the bevel, and you've got the cutting edge. And I like working off the tip because when we're cutting, we just want to be using the very tip down to about 1/8 of an inch, right? And you hold the tool completely different. So before we only had the tool rolled over halfway. If we roll the tool all the way over and just engage the lower part of the blade, we can make a scraping shape here. A scraping cut, I should say. I'm just leaning backwards. So again, I'm just engaging the bottom blade, not the top. If I roll the tool over too much and put the top blade on, I get a wicked catch. So now we're sanded up to 240. We've got a nice shaped bowl. We're going to put some Howard's feeding wax on there. You can put all different types of finishes on here. I like rubbing it in with my hands, right? And that's when the grain's popping. That's what I really like about this sapelli, is those ribbons start popping through.
So this is my bowl. I cannot say how impressed I am, how fun that was. Thank you so much, Bob, for showing me how to do this. That took us about an hour and a half. You know, for somebody skilled like yourself, how long would it take you to make this on your own?
Yeah, I could probably crank this out in about a half an hour. This is mahogany, it's sapelli mahogany. I really like using this type of wood because it turns well, it sands well, and it has these beautiful ribbons that go through it. So it's just a really good wood to work with. We put a little spiraling technique on the bottom for extra design feature. And you know, for a first project, I think this came out real well. So I really appreciate you coming up.
Oh,
and
yeah, no
you know, getting the lessons fun. I'm glad we're friends now. And yeah, looking forward to spending other projects with you.
Yeah, definitely. So you can check out the New Jersey Wood Turners. If you're in the New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania area, it's only $30 to be a member for the entire year. That's super, super cheap. Yeah. So you can come and learn how to do things, have a lot of fun with wood turning. Also just a great organization that does a lot of charity stuff. And of course, check out Bob's Woodshop. I will link his YouTube channel down below. Make sure you go check it out. Give him a subscribe. I appreciate it for letting me come out and check out your shop. So thanks so much.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun.
I hope you will like and subscribe if you got some good content. And as always, stay safe in the shop. I'll see you in the next one.